Hi, welcome to Kaisa's Kitchen and Healthy Self with Food. And today I wanted to teach you about making your own calcium supplements out of eggshells. We have our own chickens, so we're lucky enough to be able to use their eggshells to do stuff like this. But I wanted to tell you more about why you would want to do this. So eggshells have more bioavailable calcium than any supplement that you'll take that you would buy. Most calcium supplements are calcium carbonate, but not all. But that is the best form because your body absorbs it the best. So if you were to use an eggshell, you only need half of an eggshell to get your daily calcium needs. It's about 1,000 milligrams. And we only absorb a certain percentage of pharmaceutical or synthetic type supplements. And so what that means is that even though the label may say that it's 1,500 or 2,000, you're only going to absorb a percentage of that. And often it's a small percentage. With a natural form of calcium carbonate from eggshells, you're going to absorb anywhere between 30 and 60%. And it's going to depend on your body, but at least you'll know that you're getting a good amount. So what I did is I collected eggshells from my chickens, and we don't eat them super fast, and so I had to collect it over time, and I would wash them off. Make sure that the outside is clean and even clean out the inside. You don't want anything wet left in there because it can mold. And so I would just set them out after I washed them on a paper towel until they were dry. And once they were dry, I could stick them in a bag. Sometimes people will freeze them or put them in the refrigerator. I just kept mine dry so that they wouldn't mold or have any problems. And then once I have enough that I want to do a batch of supplements, I will stick them on a cookie sheet. And I'll just fill it up. It's okay if they're touching, and it doesn't matter if they're up or down. But I do like to separate them if they've kind of fallen together. And we're going to bake them. We're going to bake them for anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, and anywhere from 200 degrees to 250. So it is a low temperature, and you're just trying to kill any germs that might be in or on your eggshells. So this is the first step. It would be collecting your eggshells. Even if you buy store-bought eggs, you can do this. I just like to clean them really good, but I would prefer to use like organic, just so that you know there's not any antibiotics or pesticides or any of the things that they're going to use on regular chickens. And anything that's in a chicken is going to be in its chicken egg. And so you're going to want it to be a really clean source. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bake these so that we can do the next process. So I'm going to put them in the oven, and we'll come back when they're done. Okay, so our eggshells have been baking to heat them up and sterilize them. So we're going to take them out of the oven. And now I'm going to show you how we blend them up. First, I want to tell you a little bit about the equipment that you'll need to do this. I used a small, kind of like a food processor. It is connected. The top part is connected to an actual hand mixer if you've ever used one of the hand blenders. So typically you'd stick the bottom part in if you were immersion blending. But this particular unit came with a way to attach this to the top so it could motorize the bottom, which is then a food processor. So this is what I'm going to be using today. As soon as these shells have cooled off, we're just going to stick them right into the food processor. It is recommended to use a coffee grinder if you have one. I don't have one, and I wanted to test this out and see how this would be, how fine of a powder we can get it, because that's your goal, is the more powder, the better it's going to break down inside of your body. But I'll just stick all of these eggshells into the bottom part of this food processor. I find that you need to have more shells or more of whatever food or thing that you're blending up for it to blend up finer. It's like it needs more product or thing to work against to kind of break it down better, as opposed to just putting in like a few eggshells. So I can't quite fit all of them, but that I can fit at least that much. Okay, so now I have put the eggshells into the processor, and I have to plug it in over here, and I'm gonna blend it up. I'm not gonna have you listen to that because it makes a lot of noise. And it is gonna take a little bit longer because I'm gonna try to get it really fine. So I'll be back in a few minutes as soon as it is ground up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm done grinding, and I wanna show you what this looks like. You may not really be able to see how fine it is, but it isn't quite as fine as I was hoping for. But it will work. And I put the eggshells in here till it filled up, and then ground it for like a few seconds, and then I added more eggshells. And I find the more eggshells you put it in, the better that it grinds down. So now I'm going to show you the process of putting them into the capsules with a capsule filling machine. I'm going to show you how to fill capsules with a capsule filling machine. So this is my jar that has my capsules in it, so you can see they're just the clear capsules. And what we're going to do is we're going to open these up, and the long side is going to go into the base, and the short side, you can see that, is going to go into the top. And we're going to put these in every single hole, and then I'm going to show you how to fill them. Okay, I have filled all 24 spots with the larger part of the capsule on the bottom and the smaller part of the capsule in the lid. And now I'm going to take my crushed up eggshell, and we're going to spoon it into our capsules. As you just spoon it in there, and then the set gives you a little card that comes with the set, so that you can scoot all the rest of whatever you're filling up into your capsules, so you don't waste any. And it gives you a little spot here on the end right there where you can pour off the extra. So I am going to pour that back into my container. So that, number one, I don't waste any, but I also can still use it. So this particular set that I bought, the capsule filling set, came with 48 capsules. But if you were doing this a lot, you'd want to buy more of them. So now I'm going to put the top onto the bottom. The trick is flipping this lid over as quickly as you can into the bottom, because the tops are going to kind of slide out. So I just do it as quickly as I can, and it's going to line up because it's made to fit really well. The next part you're supposed to do is push this down, and so it's going to connect. It's going to connect them. So you do it until you hear the click, and let's see how many of them, because it doesn't always work. Okay, so some of them worked. And so I'll put it back on there. I'll take out the filled ones. These ones you can just pop into. It came with an amber colored jar that you can put your filled capsules into. And so I'll just pop those out into there. This is definitely a work in progress. I do have to say that the instructions that came with this make this look a lot easier than it actually is, but it still does work. So you can see in my jar, I do have the ones that popped out in the lid the first round, and these ones, they have worked. They just didn't quite catch in the lid. But I find that I have to close them a little bit more as I pull them out. You want to pop them so it's all the way closed, and that really will make a difference with them not coming open and spilling out the contents of your pill. So that is the process of using a capsule filling machine. And it is easier than doing them by hand, but that is a way that you can do it where you actually scoop out whatever powder you've produced or bought and you can scoop it into capsules. So that is an option as well. I hope you enjoyed watching this and learning from the trial and error, if you will. And now you know an inexpensive and easy way that you can make your own calcium supplements without having to spend a lot of money, but also having the bioavailability of really good quality product. Take care. I wanted to show you the last thing that I did. I wasn't really happy with the consistency of my egg powder. And so we went ahead and hooked up, this is just a hand grinder for grain. And I have a mock mill right there that I usually grind my grain in, but I didn't want to mix eggshell with wheat or vice versa, just in case someone had a problem with one of those. So to keep it clean, I hadn't used this yet, and so I thought this would be a great way, and plus I can clean it out later real easily just because it's one piece. And so I stuck the eggshell in here that was still you know, not ground down all the way, pretty chunky, and this is how it came out. And so this is the powder form that you would get if you used a coffee grinder. So I just wanted to show that to you. I have filled up some more capsules with this powder, and I think that's going to be much easier for the digestive system to break down and absorb than the ones that were a little bit thicker. So just wanted to give that update. So I wanted to show you something that I figured out. When I was trying to fill these, I was having trouble with the top, putting the smaller part in the top holder and then flipping it over, and it either crushing some of the smaller capsule tops or like missing. So I wanted to show you an easier way. What I was doing was pushing up the larger half of the capsules, and then I was taking the smaller capsule half, kind of the top, and then I was just popping them right onto these, the bottom parts. And so then I have a filled capsule without having to load all of the smaller halves, the smaller halves into the lid holder. And so I'm doing the same amount of work by just loading them directly on top of the half-filled capsules. So hopefully that makes sense, but I just found that I was damaging or missing some of them, and this seemed to be a faster way to do it and a more successful way, because I was able to then pull, look, I can pull this out, done, and it's filled and it's already popped together. I didn't have to do the second pop, because I was finding that when I try to use the lid to close them I was having to pop them closed anyways. So anyways, this is a more efficient way. Just thought I would show you that, so that if you do get a capsule filler and go to use it and you're disappointed, you know that it's still worth it, still saving you a lot of time. There I just did 24 of those, and then now I can just push this down and pull them out. All right.